Hello, Canucks fans. My name is Chris Faber, and welcome back to another episode of the Canucks Insider Podcast. Ahead of the home opener, we are joined by head coach Adam Foote. Foote, what's the excitement level right now for the home opener?
It's good. I mean, it's been a good camp. I think guys are ready. You know, I wouldn't say it was long. We needed to go over some things, and we're in a good place. But it does get to a time where I think the players are itching to get going here. So especially that the season, they all saw it start last night. So I think they're itching.
And for you, just the emotions. First time behind the bench as a head coach for an official game. Like, are you and Braden Coots in the same boat here? Kind of pretty excited for the first one?
Well, I wouldn't say the same boat. I mean, just for me, I'm sure I'll be nervous tomorrow or a little bit. I'm probably excited, but right now I don't feel any different than I did from the beginning of the training. I'm only because we're still in that moment of the day. And I know it sounds corny, but we truly are, where we've got the work to do the work. And I'm sure tonight or tomorrow you'll feel a little bit the energy to get it going. But, you know, I think it's normal. I mean, even when I played, I'd say every game I had a little bit of the nerves going. And I mean, I think it's good. And you just really go back to the, you did the work, so you're ready for it.
Preparation has been talked about a ton throughout these, obviously through the preseason, through training camp, everything. And the start of the season is so important. Those first 10, 12 games, getting a good start to the year is huge. And the guys have talked about it a ton. Preparation is one thing, but I'm curious, how do you shift that into execution now in the first few games?
Well, you just have to, you just said it. What you just said to me is we did the work. So you can't just tomorrow comes in and you change what we just did for 4 weeks. And that's the trick, right? Keeping the guys on cue. If we're down one goal or we have to kill a couple penalties off or something doesn't go our way early, we relate back to we did the work and we know what to do. And during preseason, there's been probably every game where a 5-minute blip or maybe not a good start or down early where we've addressed it, not just as a staff, but the players too, that we've got to stay within ourselves, and we got lots of time here. And I liked how composed we were, even though people say it's just preseason. But you look at the Edmonton game, that to me was a regular season feel, the energy, the pace, and the guys stuck with it.
Yeah, and preseason is interesting, right? Because you get these moments that you kind of just mentioned there. It's interesting to watch a guy kind of get a regular season style moment in the preseason, though a lot of guys will kind of scoff at the preseason, how many games they got to play in, but it feels like you get those moments that really prepare you for the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Edmonton and you go, those guys just went to 2 game sevens, and they might tell you if they were interviewed that they weren't at their best. They weren't all. But hey, I know that line likes to score goals, and they were humming there at times. And but it's just more of what we're doing, right, as a group. We have to approach tomorrow or every game like we're getting the team's best, and we just stick to what we've been working on and continue to believe it, and things should fall in place.
I hear head coaches talk about non-negotiables quite a bit. What are yours, and can you explain that, or do you have those, or how do you play?
I'm not sure I go to non-negotiables, or it's too, nothing's really too cut and dry, especially in our world. Right? You have to adjust. So I think it's more of just the preparation of sticking to process, like the habits, the good habits, you do the work day in, day out, right? And you just do it, and you hold each other accountable. I believe our group is, or any group is, the leadership group's got to hold themselves and the guys accountable, and they will. And I'm not going to sit there and say there's non-negotiables. There probably are, but I'm not going to tell you. So
keep it in the room.
I'll keep it in the
room. Something that was interesting, I remember like kind of your first talk to the media when you were announced as head coach, and you said that you guys are going to be a team that adapts to their opponents. And I don't think I've heard a coach actually kind of talk about that, but I've seen teams that do that, obviously, especially throughout a playoff game. How do you describe that as kind of the team's identity here?
Well, I mean, we're going to have structure like in our play and landmarks we have to reach, things like that. But there's going to be nights where we're going to have to be able to adapt without, some nights it's just a minor tweak, but the key is doing it without confusion. And, whether it's 5 feet up, north, east, west, and a lot of people know what I'm talking about, but we will adapt, whether we're playing more speed or we're playing someone's different system, or, we play a heavier team down low, we'll adapt, or we have a man-on-man compared to a zone. But I think you got to play with your instincts and adapt to your opponent game in, game out, and yourselves. Like, you're going on a heavy road trip playing back-to-backs, you might want to adapt and play a different style the first 10 minutes of that game. So whether it's dump and chase, more of a rim game early to back them off. So that's what I mean by that. I'm not a believer and go, this is our non-negotiables. This is our style. If we have one style, I believe we're not going far.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
So,
No, for sure. No, and it's interesting because like we see it play out so much throughout the playoffs, right? Like teams feel like they play different as the rounds go on when they're kind of sticking to the same base that they have, but they do have to adjust when you're playing different teams.
Well, you look at Florida. I mean, they're going to be a rim team, but they're a hard forechecking team, and that'll always be the way they play. But they have adjustments, right? They adjust, and you know, whether their board work is their identity. I mean, I think any team that goes the distance has to win the wall. You know, the board work, the dots to the walls, and the blue paint. I mean, that's just everyone's got to do it. I mean, so I think for us is just I don't get too into. Are we a fast team? Yeah, I want to be fast. Are we physical? Yeah, I want to be physical too. I want it all. It's more of we'll adapt to our opponents and adapt to what we have and take from there.
And a lot of those adjustments, they come during game as well. You've had some games now with your full coaching staff. What's it been like just getting to see what these guys are like when they're actually in a game environment?
Well, it's great. I mean, we're getting tweaked up too, right? This is our training camp as well, and our new staff on the bench and what our roles are, and we've discussed it and day by day, and everyone's got great input and make sure we're fine tuned, and you know, it's good. We're on the same page, and you know, we believe we can make our adjustments, whether it's slight or a little bit bigger than we want it to be, without confusing our players.
What gives you the most confidence about this group of players? Because you got your final roster now, home opener is just about to get going. What gives you the most confidence about the group of guys in that room?
Probably the leadership group discussions we had early in the summer, and that they carried it out through training camp, but then in preseason, we've had a couple talks since since training camp started. And I think what I like most is the commitment that they made to it. You know, it wasn't just, you know, okay, it's this another leadership meeting, but they're really taking it serious, and they're, you can just notice in the way they practice or the way they might get off in a game and then they can pull it back together, and not you know, not hurt themselves in that moment or in that game.
What does it do for the young guys then when you get that buy-in from the leaders and they just see like this is how this operates here in the Vancouver Canucks?
That's great. I mean, it's so funny, the little things like one guy gets by a puck and blocks a shot, and you know, it's okay it hurts for a minute, but you don't need the fans to know it's hurting for 5 minutes. That's just a little example. But I love the way a leader will go, hey, knock it off. Like, you know, it's just one little example, but that's the way it's got to be. I mean, how we conduct ourselves, how we carry ourselves, how that group won't allow one guy to go rogue when he's been used to going rogue, when he doesn't get his way, whoever that guy is. Right. And that's just part of what I believe that they're ready to do.
There was a couple of guys who made the team from Abbotsford last year, and it felt like when I was talking to them throughout the playoffs, like, it felt like they were learning so much, and it felt like everything they talked about kind of was the way you just described, like leadership a little bit. Having a couple of those guys come into the lineup, what does that do for the group, and what have you seen from those guys?
Well, I think it's helped them that run, and they were well coached down there, and they went through a grind. I mean, in any league, any sport, if you're going to go the distance, it's a sacrifice. It hurts. It's every day. It's not easy, and it's about having a positive mindset through it. And I think to go through it for them, and I've heard some of them talk about it, they couldn't believe how hard it was, but then they like how hard it was. Like, okay, it was hard, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
the pressure was great. I like it. I can get through it. And when you get a chance to go on a run like that, and I know it's the American Hockey League and the Stanley Cup run's even harder, you need it again in your life. And that's what I think they learned from it. Now you really see it in Bainesy's game coming up, and you know, some of the others that they were in a hard place. So I just don't see Bainesy right now getting too phased by too much. But you know, they haven't had a regular season game yet, so he'll learn. He's young as he goes, and the rest of them will too.
Yeah, is it an interesting thing for you to watch some of these young guys go through this? I mean, Braden Coots is a great example. He's going to play his first game, but you got LeCaire Mackey, Baines, another young guy. What do you enjoy about watching these young guys just learn about the NHL and like what this life is all about?
Well, I'd give our staff a lot of credit and leadership group where they feel comfortable, and you know what? It's going to get hard, and it's going to get more hard. Like it's just, it is. And they know that, but we're going to help them through it. And sometimes it's okay if one can't keep going or he needs a little bit of a break. That's okay. But we're not going to look too far ahead with any of them, and just one day at a time, and be there for them. And I think they're playing with confidence. I think, they're not going to get everything right, and a 10-year pro doesn't. It's a game of mistakes, but I think they're feeling good about themselves.
I think something you have to be feeling good about yourself with this team is probably the defense core. Kind of a mix of young guys, older guys, some veterans, some high skills, some good defenders. How do you describe your defense core as a whole?
It's a good D.
Yeah.
It's a good D core. I mean, I don't know. Like, you've got good puck movers. You've got guys that can defend. We pretty much have it covered as far as what type of game the team wants to play with us or against us. We can match it. And it's a group, they really care about each other. One thing I like about them, and Dean's going to really enjoy, is they were really starting to get it at the end of last year, maybe after Christmas, where when things weren't going our way, they just anchored it down, and they stayed in control until we settled the game down. I really like that, and I think you'll see them continue to do that, lead, and just be that pillar back there, that foundation, that concrete deal that I felt they were doing a great job last year of staying in control and not getting off.
Yeah, and throughout the preseason, like, we've seen some defensemen jump into the play quite a bit. I've seen Derek Forbert go towards net and get some goals himself, and just these guys that maybe are more defensive guys jumping into the play. How do you get this defense more involved in the offense? Because I think that's something you've talked about quite a bit throughout the offseason here.
Well, I don't want to go too far into the deal. It's hard to explain, but we're just playing. There's a time where our forwards, they see separations. For example, if Huggy's got the puck coming around his net and there's separation from their check, they're checking them. We want our forwards to go and that other D to go. They just have to learn on their way to ongoing. If we can't get it out, they can actually stop and come back, and they're actually in better defensive position at that point, because they've got their momentum going, and they can then defend well as too. So we're just trying to push the pace a little bit.
Patrick Alvin has mentioned he's pretty happy with the relationship you have with Elias Pettersson. Can you talk us through what the relationship is like with Petey and what you're expecting this year?
Well, it's good. I mean, I working with the D the last couple of years, I'd say I've talked to Petey. We've had great conversations in the past, but I think now, just being the head coach, you have to talk. You're talking to everyone more. That's your job. I don't know if it was as much as what I did or what wasn't done. I think Petey's taken, I don't want to say the wrong word, but he's matured in ownership, and he really wanted to do it, show his teammates and everyone what type of guy he is and what type of player he is. And when he chose to do that, that's on him, and he chose to do that. So it's been great to watch, and his teammates have recognized it.
How do you feel about that top line going into the regular season here, with him and Brock obviously coming back and signing that deal, but Jake getting another year with the Canucks here?
I think it's a good question, because they had to defend the last game. So matched them a lot against McDavid, and they were able to defend. And what I liked was they weren't too concerned about going on the offense so much. They knew if they defended right, they could probably get back to offense sooner. And I like that that was tough to defend that line, and they did a pretty good job. And there's going to be times this year where one might not be going, or they've got a different matchup that doesn't work, and we'll see how it goes. But so far, they seem like they're playing with some zip.
As we wrap here, home opener on Thursday. What are you most excited for? Just the whole day?
I just want to see the guys have fun and apply what they worked hard at, and I think they will.
Right on. I appreciate you jumping on the pod third time. Appreciate it.
Oh, third time. Thank you.
You betcha.